Don't go anywhere, gentlemen! Don't go anywhere! Don't go anywhere!
Imagine you're asleep, your children beside you. Suddenly, gunshots tear through the silence. Men with guns break into your home. Within minutes, your entire family is dragged into the darkness. This is not a movie. This happened in Zamfara state. But what happened next turned a nightmare into a miracle. Stay with me, because this story will shock you. It was a quiet night in Gusau. The kind of night where everything feels normal, predictable, safe. The air was still. The streets were empty. Most homes had gone dark as families settled into sleep after a long day. In one modest home, a woman lay beside her children, 6 of them. For her, this was just another night of motherhood, making sure the doors were locked, saying final prayers, and hoping tomorrow would be better. Nothing felt unusual. No signs. No warnings. No indication that within minutes, their lives would change forever. Then suddenly, a sound shattered the silence. At first, it was distant, almost easy to ignore. But then it came again. Louder. Closer. Gunshots. Not one. Not two. Several. Rapid. Violent. Unmistakable. In that moment, sleep disappeared. Fear took its place. Dogs began barking wildly. Lights flickered on in nearby houses. People froze, listening, hoping it wasn't what they thought it was. But deep down, everyone already knew. Bandits. Before anyone could react, shadows began moving through the streets. Armed men. Silent but deadly. They knew exactly what they were doing. And then, they struck. The house became their target. Without hesitation, the attackers surrounded the building. There was no knocking. No negotiation. Bang! The door was forced open. Inside, panic exploded. The woman barely had time to react before the men stormed in. Faces hidden, weapons raised, voices harsh and commanding. The children screamed. Confusion filled the room. Stay quiet. Move. Don't try anything. The commands came fast, aggressive, terrifying. The mother tried to shield her children, her instincts kicking in. But against armed men, there was little she could do. This wasn't robbery. This wasn't random. This was abduction. Within seconds, the attackers had taken control of the house. They moved with speed and precision, as if they had done this many times before. And in a place like Zamfara state, that fear is all too familiar. Neighbors heard everything. The gunshots. The shouting. The cries. But no one stepped out. Because stepping out could mean becoming the next victim. So they stayed inside. Helpless witnesses to a nightmare unfolding next door. Back inside the house, the situation escalated quickly. The woman and her children were dragged outside. No time to gather belongings. No time to call for help. Just fear, raw and overwhelming. The youngest child cried uncontrollably. Another clung tightly to their mother. But the attackers showed no emotion. To them, this was just another operation. Another night. Another set of victims. Under the cover of darkness, the 7 of them were forced to move. Step by step, deeper into uncertainty. The night swallowed them whole. And just like that, they were gone. No trace. No direction. No answers. Only silence remained. Back in the neighborhood, doors slowly creaked open. Whispers filled the air. What just happened? Who did they take? Where are they now? Fear spread quickly. Because this wasn't just one family's tragedy. It was a warning. A reminder that in moments like this, anyone could be next. Phones came out. Calls were made. Some to relatives. Some to neighbors. And finally, a distress call was sent to the authorities. But even as help was being contacted, one question echoed in everyone's mind. Will it be too late? Because in many cases like this, by the time help arrives, the victims are already gone, far into the forest, beyond reach. And for families in Zamfara state, that reality is all too real. Kidnappings have become a terrifying pattern. Night attacks, forced abductions, ransom demands. A cycle that seems endless. So as the woman and her 6 children disappeared into the darkness, hope began to fade. The night felt heavier, colder, longer, and for those left behind, sleep was no longer possible, because somewhere out there, 7 innocent lives were in danger, and no one knew if they would ever return. While fear gripped the community in Gusau, something critical was already in motion. That distress call. It went through, and on the other end of that call were officers of the Nigeria police force stationed in the area. This was not the first call of its kind. They knew the pattern. They understood the urgency. Because in situations like this, every second matters. Delay could mean distance. Distance could mean disappearance. And disappearance could mean the victims might never be seen again. So there was no time to waste. Within minutes, a patrol team was mobilized. No long preparation. No hesitation. Just action. Engines roared to life. Headlights cut through the darkness. The officers moved fast. Faster than the attackers expected. Because most times, bandits rely on one advantage. Time. They strike quickly and vanish before security forces can respond. But this time, something was different. The police had a direction, a lead, and they followed it without slowing down. Out in the darkness, beyond the quiet streets of the town, the terrain changed. Narrow paths, bushes, unpredictable routes. This was where the bandits thrived. They knew these paths like the back of their hands. They used the night as cover, and the forest as protection. And somewhere ahead, they were moving with their captives. 7 innocent people, forced to walk into the unknown. But what the attackers didn't realize was that they were no longer alone in the night. The police were closing in. Slowly, carefully, strategically. Then suddenly, movement. A sign. A clue. Confirmation. The officers had found them. And in that moment, everything changed. Because now, it was no longer a silent operation. It was a confrontation. And then, gunshots exploded into the night. Loud. Sharp. Relentless. The stillness of the bush was shattered instantly. The police engaged the bandits head-on. No warning shots. No retreat. This was a direct clash. The kind that determines outcomes in seconds. The bandits were caught off guard. They didn't expect resistance this quickly. They didn't expect to be tracked so fast. And now, under pressure, their advantage began to slip. Bullets cut through the darkness. Voices shouted commands. Chaos replaced control. For the victims, this moment was terrifying, but also filled with a strange kind of hope. Because for the first time since their abduction, someone was fighting for them. The mother held onto her children tightly, trying to keep them calm in the middle of gunfire. Every second felt like a lifetime. Because in a situation like this, anything could happen. But the officers held their ground. They pushed forward. Strategically. Carefully. Their objective was clear. Rescue the victims. Neutralize the threat. And slowly, the balance began to shift. The bandits started losing control. Their formation broke. Their confidence weakened. Because this was no longer an easy escape. This was a fight they were not prepared for. Under intense pressure, they made a decision. Not out of mercy, but out of survival. One by one, they began to abandon the victims. First one child, then another, then the mother, until all 7 of them were no longer in their control. It happened quickly, almost suddenly. The same people they had dragged into the darkness were now left behind. And then, the bandits fled, disappearing into the bush, empty-handed, defeated, at least for that night. But the operation wasn't over yet. The officers moved in immediately, securing the area, checking for threats, making sure the attackers were truly gone. Then they turned to the victims. 7 of them. Shaken, terrified, but alive. It was a moment of relief, but also disbelief, because just minutes earlier, their fate had seemed sealed. Now, they were free. The children clung to their mother, crying, holding on tightly. The mother, overwhelmed with emotion. No words could fully capture what she felt in that moment. Fear, relief, gratitude, shock. All at once. For the officers, this was more than just a mission. It was a success. A rare one. Because in many cases like this, the story ends differently. But tonight, the outcome had changed. Because of speed. Because of response. Because someone acted in time. As they escorted the victims to safety, one thing became clear. This was not just another attack. This was a moment where everything could have gone wrong, but didn't. And it all came down to one thing. Those gunshots in the night that changed everything. What do you think? Was this a heroic rescue? Or proof that insecurity is still out of control? Drop your opinion in the comments. Because this conversation matters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more real stories that the headlines don't fully explain.